Second guessing whether or not your brand looks and feels right every time you go to create something is exhausting. And I'm here to tell you, it's absolutely not necessary. As a busy entrepreneur, I know that you have a gazillion other things to check off on your to-do list. So keep watching, because I'm about to share with you the secret weapon that's going to save you loads of time and make design decision-making a breeze. Hi there, I'm Alli, and I'm here to help you elevate your brand and online presence so that you can quickly and confidently connect with your dream clients online and make more money in your business. And I really like to keep things simple. So let me introduce you to the secret weapon that I'm talking about today, and that's your brand guidelines. And as a brand strategist and designer, I have witnessed firsthand so many times how using brand guidelines and having these in place for your business can truly transform a business. It can take a business from this to this, and you can go from this to this, and from this to this. So imagine this. I know this won't be hard for you because so many people do this. Imagine you go to sit down and create a post for social media, and you're trying to figure out, well, what colors am I going to use? What fonts should I use? And really, what's just kind of the overall design feeling? Sometimes it feels like you're recreating the wheel every time you create a new piece of content. But this is where brand guidelines can come to the rescue. They're like a GPS guiding you in the right direction at every turn. Brand guidelines really help you to establish a solid foundation for the way that you'll show up in front of your audience. And they also serve as a roadmap for every design decision that you make. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Alli, can't I just wing it? Do I really need to have this document set up? Yes, of course, you could just wing it. But let me tell you that consistency is the key to building a brand that your audience is going to recognize when they see it and is going to make you that much more memorable. Your brand guidelines need to be set up and used in order to make sure that all of your visuals, all of your voice, everything you create are consistent and cohesive everywhere that you're showing up in front of your audience and online. This memorable and cohesive experience that you're creating is really what's going to help you stand out to your audience and make a connection with them. One of the biggest time sucks of entrepreneurship is reinventing your brand every time you go to create a social media graphic or a slide deck, a YouTube thumbnail, a pin, you name it. I'm sure you've been down that rabbit hole. But here's the good news. Brand guidelines save you valuable time. By having clear guidelines, you can streamline the decision-making process and eliminate the guesswork. So whenever you go to sit down to create, no more staring at that blank screen. You're gonna know what to do. One of my students spent hours and hours agonizing over what colors to use on her website. She changed them repeatedly and was never really satisfied. It was a cycle that kept continuing and draining her energy completely. But once she created her brand guidelines using my Brand Up system, everything easily fell into place. She now has a color palette, typography, and imagery style chosen to strategically connect with her dream clients that easily guides her along. Suddenly, the design making process is easy, and she has totally reclaimed those precious hours to be able to focus on her more important tasks. Your brand guidelines aren't just about your visuals either, because once you've finally got that graphic ready for your social media post, now you've also got to write a caption. So, what does your brand sound like? This is another place that I see entrepreneurs really getting stuck, trying to figure out what tone of voice they want to use for their brand. And this is another thing that is included in your brand guidelines, so that not only are you cohesive in the way that you're showing up with your visuals, but you're also going to be consistent in the way that you're showing up with your brand voice. So if you find yourself walking a tightrope between not wanting to sound too formal, but also not wanting to sound too casual, then grab your brand guidelines. They're going to tell you what to do because you've already made these decisions. You'll quickly have a clear reminder of your brand's voice and the tone that you want to use inside of that caption. And you'll be able to write it so that it's authentic and really resonates with your audience. No longer having to second guess yourself on all of these decisions is an absolute game changer. Now that you have an understanding of the power of brand guidelines, let's have a look at what essential elements you need to include. First is your brand personality, the 3 to 4 key adjectives that describe your business as if it's a person. Second is your image style, the mood and types of images that help bring your brand to life. Third is the color palette, the set of colors that makes your audience feel the way that you're intending. The fourth thing is your typography, the fonts that align with your brand's personality and also pair well to create visual harmony. And lastly, your brand voice and tone, the language, tone, and communication style that is authentic to you and also resonates with your audience. Something important that I want to call your attention to is that these guidelines do not have to be set in stone. So alleviate yourself from the pressure that they have to be perfect. Your brand will evolve as your business grows, and your guidelines can be refined and updated as you better understand your clients and how you can connect with them. This is not about creating rigid rules, but rather about creating a guiding framework that empowers you to share your unique personality and help differentiate you. Now, if you're wondering, how do I go about creating all of these elements that go into creating my brand guidelines? Don't worry, I've got you covered. Click the video that's on the screen right now where I take you step by step through how to create your brand from scratch.